Okay, at this time I'll be standing by the door greeting students as they come in. The students will already know from previous classes to answer the bell ringer question on their own and then discuss it while I take attendance. So at this time, after a greeting, I would be taking attendance. Okay. Good morning, students. So as you can see from our bell ringer, we're going to be talking about self-portraits today. So does anybody here know what a self-portrait is? Johnny, yes. Exactly. A self-portrait is a portrait that an artist creates of themselves. Does anybody think that self-portraits have any meaning other to us as the viewers besides what the meaning is to the artists themselves? Okay. Yeah. So self-portraits can have many different meanings. Let's go to our next slide. All right, I want you to look at this self-portrait by Elizabeth Louis Vigley. What do you think's being conveyed? You're right, Lucy. She is very pretty. Okay, so I want you all to focus on her body posture and her expression. Look at the things she's holding. Yes, she's holding an artist palette, so that means that she sees herself as a professional artist. Look at her gesture and her body posture. She looks very confident, laid back, like she knows that she is an artist and a high class lady from her clothing. This is just some symbolism in self portraits that we can see. Let's look at this next one. So look at the symbolism in this. Look at the background, the darker colors. What do you think that means? You're right, there is another artist palette. So he is an artist, a professional one, and he wants others to see him that way. What is the mood seem from this picture? It is a very serious tone. The black background set and all the darker neutral colors in this photo. It's very serious. He is a serious artist, very professional with his suit. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our project that we're going to be starting. So it is a split self-portrait project. What we're going to be doing is creating a self-portrait. One half will be realistic and the other will be a symbolic portrait. This is one I created of myself. And in honor of the quarantine that's going on and us having to wear masks, I decided to do the lower portion of my face as my symbolic one. And I've included a paintbrush because I am an artist, and camera, my bad, because I love taking pictures, and then this some corn, some lavender because that's my favorite type of flower, corn because I grew up on a farm, then some mountains and a lake because I love being outside, music because I love listening to music and I was in band, and then an orca whale because that is my favorite animal. So as you can see, you just do a bunch of things like symbols and books. I even put little books of my favorite series, symbol of love because I'm a very kind-hearted person. So just anything that represents who you are and get a feel for it. Then the topper portion, hopefully y'all will be able to add color. I plan on coloring these as you all do yours. But the topper portion will be realistic. I'm hoping to see some shading, and you can see the highlights I did on mine right here, my glasses reflecting in the little of my eyes. I want you all to think about the shading and cross-hatching that we learned in a previous class. Okay, now I'm going to show you some more examples, and then we're going to go over the handout. see in this example, they did the top portion of their head. However, for this project, y'all would have to do at least half of your face, so it'd have to be down some more. And this one, it's split vertical. Bunch of different, they added words, which you're free to do. Just make sure to add some symbols in it. It looks like they're a Taurus, as I am. And here's two more. Really love the eyes in this one. Look at that highlight right there. Some shading. The hair is very pretty too. And this one's lovely as well. Look at that. These flowers are very clean. You can add your favorite sport, if you love the ocean, your favorite food, anything that tells us about you. Okay, I'm going to quickly close out of this and pull up the handout that would be now, I would now pass out to the class. Alright. Let's do this one. Alright, so I'm going to go over the handout with you all. As you can read already, the description of the self-portrait, split self-portrait project again. And so you all will be able to use a mirror or bring in a photo or use your smartphone camera to draw the realistic portions of the self-portrait. However, if you all are irresponsible with your smartphone or off task, you won't be able to use it further in this assignment. You'll have to use a mirror provided in the classroom. So please, be responsible with your phones. Now, there is an oval sheet attached that can be used as a reference if you struggle with getting the beginning shape of a face, but you will need to add in details and change it up to get your actual face shape. Because as you know, we don't go around with perfectly egg-shaped heads. So make sure to change it up some, okay? Now, I do expect you all to use color pencils, markers, and crayons to add color in these. You don't have to add color, but if you don't, make sure to add lots of shading to get dimension in your portraits. And this is just something I recommend, is to do the realistic part of the portrait first, so that way you can already be brainstorming different ideas for the symbols that you want to use, and you can write those down. This right here is just some steps that I think work best for the beginning of this project. You don't have to do it exactly like this, but in my experience it is the best way to go. So you sketch out the shape of your head, and then you'll want to decide how you want to split it, then choose which one to begin, and you just start drawing. And there's some other things written down here, but you all are free to read it yourselves. Now this is some vocabulary. So abstraction, the not representing things pictorially. That's more about the side of the symbolic side. And then symbolism, the use of symbols to represent ideas or qualities. The symbols that you use in that abstracted side of your face is what symbolism is. So in the portraits we've seen earlier, the symbolism in those was the painter's palette and the paintbrushes, as well as using symbolism through the colors of the backgrounds and the clothing. And shading, as I pointed out in the different portraits that we looked at, is creating a range of darkness by applying the medium more densely with a darker shade of the color being used. So adding like cross-hatching under the eyes, or using just a darker color to show the shadows. You think of the shadows up in the face, on the chin, under the nose, just anywhere that they would apply. Which is the same with the highlights, except, that's the reverse. So that would be like the top of the eyebrows, top of the eyelids, your cheekbones, the tip of your nose. If any of you girls do makeup, y'all know like highlights and contour. Contour would be the shading. Alright, and then there's value. How light or how dark a color is. So value would kind of go in with shading, where you darken it up, and then the highlight would be the lighter part of value. Realistic, most of y'all probably know that, shown in a real, more picture-like way. And then proportion. It actually included some helpful proportion hints for the face that I think are very helpful with this project. Just keep it in mind. I know you're not drawing a full face, but it's still good to know like where things are. So I recommend you all looking at that. And this here is the grading rubric. Okay. Which I've decided what to do. Okay. So you all are going to be graded over the efficiency, the effort. So you all are going to be graded over your efficiency, effort, medium, originality, quality, and completion. So as long as you all do this assignment fully and follow all the directions, you'll get a good grade. Okay, and this is the oval that I was talking about that you'll have to edit to fit your own face. But okay, I'm going to pull back up the PowerPoint so you can see the examples, and then you are welcome to begin. And at this time, I'll be passing out the paperwork, not the paperwork, but the drawing paper appropriate for the students. Okay. Well, that's it. I'll be waiting for them to finish drawing.